The Infinix Smart series has always been about affordability and getting the basics right. But with the Smart 20 and the price they are asking for, it's kind of telling us that Infinix thinks is more than just the basics and affordability. And looking at what's inside, a large display, high refresh rate, and a 5200 mAh battery, honestly, it's kind of hard to argue with Infinix. But this phone has some limitations, and those limitations matter depending on who you are. So I'm going to break down everything about this phone, the good and the not so good, and by the end of this video you should know exactly whether the Infinix Smart 20 deserves your money or not. Let's quickly go through what's inside the box. You're getting a 10-watt charging brick, a USB A to C cable, a SIM ejector tool, and some paperwork. Infinix has also included a silicone TPU case that matches the color of the phone. And there is also a pre-applied screen protector on the device. So out of the box, your phone is protected front and back, and you don't need to spend extra money buying anything. The Smart 20 comes in two variants. The base model has 64 gig storage space and 4 gigs RAM, and it's priced at around 145,000 naira. That's roughly $105. The variant that I bought has 128 gigs of storage space, and it also has 4 gigs RAM, and it costs 160,000 naira, about $116. If you want to get the Infinix Smart 20 at the best price, I've dropped a link in the description where you can order it directly. Now, the storage type on this phone is eMMC 5.1 and the RAM type is LPDDR4X. You also get a dedicated slot for memory expansion, which keeps your SIM slot separate. That's always appreciated. Now, looking at what else is in the market around this price range, we have the Redmi A7 Pro, and it is going for 144,900 naira for the model with 128 gigs of storage space, and it also comes with a bigger battery at 6000 mAh. The Technopop 20 is yet to launch in Nigeria at the time of making this video, so I can't give you a dedicated price for that phone, but it will likely sit in the same conversation with this particular one. Let me know in the comment section which phone you want me to compare directly with the Smart 20, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about how this phone looks and feels. First off, it's lightweight despite the large display, and at 7.7 millimeters, it's thin and sits comfortably in the hand. The build is plastic at the back and the frame, which is what you expect at this price point. But Infinix has done a decent job when it comes to the finish. It doesn't look or feel cheap. The back has a two-tone finish, a matte section, and a glossy area at the top that houses the camera. That glossy part is prone to fingerprint stains, so just beware. The second circle next to the camera lens is not a second camera, it's the IR blaster, which you can use to control electronics like TV and air conditioners. You get a side-mounted fingerprint scanner on this phone that is well positioned, and it's quite fast at unlocking the phone. There is also a headphone jack at the bottom, just close to the USB-C charging port. We also have a dual SIM slot by the side. That is where you also get the dedicated memory expansion slot on the SIM card tray. There is a single speaker at the top, and it's not the loudest, but it sounds decent for the price. The Infinix Smart 20 also has an IP64 rating, meaning it's dust tight and can handle water splashes. It's not waterproof, so don't let it fall into water. But if you're caught in light rain or you accidentally splash water on the phone, you're going to be fine. For an entry-level device, that is a practical feature, and not everyone is offering this level of IP rating on entry-level devices. I have the Polaris titanium color here, and it genuinely doesn't look like a cheap phone. Other color options are available if you prefer something bolder. For the price, the design and build quality is solid, it's slim, and holding it doesn't even feel like anything. It doesn't feel like work. Now, the display of this phone is large. It's 6.78 inch. It's IPS LCD display, and if you have small hands, you might occasionally struggle to reach the top of this, the screen one-handed. The phone is listed as having a 120 Hz refresh rate, but in practice, you'll mostly be running it at 90 Hz. If you go into the display settings and select customize app refresh rate, you'll see that only a select few apps are enabled for 120 Hz refresh rate. Most are capped at 90 Hz. That's what knowing upfront, so you are not misled by what you see on the spec sheet. The resolution is HD plus at 720p, and I wish this phone was genuinely a 1080p display. Most mid-range phones from Infinix nowadays are already running at 1.5K resolution, and I feel 1080p should be the new standard for entry-level phones in 2026. If Infinix would have given us that 1080p resolution, the price would have been justified. That said, using it daily tells a different story. The display looks good enough, and you're not even going to remember that it's a 720p display most of the time when you're using it. Now, color reproduction is genuinely one of the highlights here. Watching YouTube or movies on the screen is enjoyable, and colors come through well, and the viewing experience is quite solid. Even when you're kind of away from the phone, the viewing angles are quite good. Where it struggles is under direct sunlight. At 700 nits peak brightness, and on a sunny afternoon, you are going to fight to see the screen clearly. It's manageable, but it's something you need to factor in before buying the phone. Overall, the color quality here is real, and the HD resolution is kind of okay for the price. I know that there are some trade-offs when it comes to the display, but these are trade-offs to keep the price low, because once you kind of bump up the specs, the price of this phone is automatically going to go up as well. The Infinix Smart 20 is powered by the MediaTek Helio G81 Ultimate, an octa-core chip built on a 12nm process, paired with 4 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM, and for everyday use, this chip delivers. Apps open quickly, switching between apps is smooth, and for the things most people actually use their phones for, WhatsApp, Instagram scrolling, YouTube, calls, browsing, this phone handles all of it without any complaint. You're not even going to be frustrated daily driving this phone, just doing the basics. I'm not talking about heavy activities here. Before you guys quote me and see, I said this phone is a performance machine. If you want performance, you definitely have to spend more money. Where it starts to show its limits is gaming. Casual games are going to be fine, but if you're someone who takes mobile gaming seriously, this is not the phone for that. Demanding games like Call of Duty Mobile will push this chip, and you're going to feel it. The GH1 Ultimate is not a gaming chip, and Infinix isn't even pretending or trying to hard sell you that this phone is for gaming. One more thing you need to know is the storage. It's eMMC 5.1, which is an older standard compared to UFS found on phones higher up the ladder. It won't ruin the experience, but app load times and file transfers will be slower. That's something you have to keep in mind. The Infinix Smart 20 runs on Android 16 based on XOS 16. Getting Android 16 on an entry-level phone is genuinely impressive. Most devices in this category are still shipping on older versions, so Infinix deserves credit for that. On the bloatware situation, it's there. Out of the box, you'll find a number of pre-installed apps you didn't ask for. Most of them can be uninstalled or disabled, but it's something to be aware of when you first set up the phone. On the feature side, there are a couple of new things worth talking about. The first one is Ultralink, and this is Ultralink 2.0. It's not the first time we are seeing the future on an Infinix phone, but this is the improved version. This lets you make call between Infinix devices at up to 1 kilometer range without a SIM card or internet connection. It's a neat feature, but for anyone in an area with poor network coverage or with family members also using Infinix phones, this is genuinely going to be something useful. You can just use it to call yourselves quickly. The second one is Pure Voice. Infinix has built a 3-level noise cancellation for calls. Whether you're in a noisy market, on the road, or in a crowded space, you can dial up the voice clarity depending on your environment, and that is a thoughtful addition for anyone that is going to be using this phone in a busy environment. There is also a dedicated AI section in the settings. You're getting an AI image eraser in the gallery of the phone for removing unwanted objects in photos, plus AI writing and document assistance. These aren't flagship level AI features, but they are functional and they add practical value to everyday users. They kind of add value to the phone for its price. Overall, XOS 16 is reasonably clean and feature rich. The experience has been getting cleaner and cleaner over the year. And one thing that I'm going to, talk about is the bloatware situation here. I feel we need to cut down on the level of bloatware even on entry-level phones. The software is actually one of the reasons why you need to buy this phone over its competition. Not all phones around its price will give you clean software experience like this one. The camera is where the Infinix Smart 20 shows its limit the most, and I'm going to be straight with you about it. On the back, we have a single 8-megapixel lens, not a dual setup. There's no AI camera system here, just one lens. On the front, we have another 8-megapixel for selfie, and for a phone close to 150,000 naira in 2026, that is a tough sell. Competitors at similar price or even lower prices are offering a 13-megapixel or even 50-megapixel lenses in some cases, with additional 2-megapixel lenses for depth sensing that we all know is not really useful. In good lighting condition, outside during the day or in a well-lit room, you can get decent images that work fine for social media and WhatsApp. But the moment lighting drops, quality takes a significant hit. Low light photography is not a strength here. The noise level in dark environment make those shots unusable for most purposes. The selfie camera follows the same pattern, sharp and clean in good lighting, falling off completely in areas with low light. On the video side, the Smart 20 can shoot 2K at 30 frames per second on both the front and rear cameras, which is impressive for the price. But there is no form of stabilization when you're recording videos with this phone. If you're moving while recording, your footage is going to be shaky. Now, for casual clips, it's going to be fine, but as a content creator, you cannot depend on this camera for any serious work. The camera is definitely the area where Infinix made the biggest compromises to keep the price where it is, and it shows. If photography matters to you, there are other options around its price worth considering. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be definitely working on some comparisons, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when I upload those comparisons. Now, let's talk about the battery, and honestly, this is one of the best things about the Infinix Smart 20. You're getting a 5200 mAh battery and it delivers. Under intense usage, you are looking at getting around 8 hours of screen on time. Now, for most people, that's a full day of real use on a single charge. Light to moderate users will comfortably push that to maybe an extra day and a half. That's like 1.5 days of usage. Battery anxiety is something you'll not experience when you're using this phone. The charging side is where we need to be honest. The phone supports 15-watt charging, but what's inside the box is a 10-watt charger, and it takes just over 2 hours to charge this phone from 0 to 100, and in 2026 that is slow. Phones at similar and lower price points are now offering 18, 33 and even 45-watt charging. Infinix putting a 10-watt charger in the box when the phone can handle 15 watts is a decision that is going to be hard to defend. If you have a 15-watt charger lying around, or maybe from another phone, use that. It will maybe take a little under 2 hours to charge the phone. But the fact that Infinix added a charger inside the box needs to be commended. Not everyone gives you a charging brick inside the case nowadays. The battery life is excellent, but the charging speed is disappointing. Both of those things are true at the same time. So here is the bottom line about the Infinix Smart 20. If you want a phone that handles everyday tasks reliably, has outstanding battery life, decent software and a clean design, this phone delivers. It's not perfect, but it gets the fundamentals right for most people in this category. The camera is one place where Infinix made significant compromises, and if photography is important to you, that's a decision you need to make before buying. Everything else I feel is solid. If this video helped you in any way, drop a like and let me know in the comments what phone you are currently using. I'm going to see you in the next one.